If I come over half court at the high school, college, and pro level and know that we have two guys who can beat your two guys defensively every time, I know where they are, in your zone or your man-to-man. I know where they are. I come up, I don't even have to think. But when I change defenses, those guys are in different spots every time. So, at the NBA level, though, at high school, we always would do misses, top of the circle, all you man principles, okay? Foul shots, 2-2-1, okay? Now, when I got to the pros, I saw, so we put this in Atlanta on field goals. We pick you up at 100 and play man-to-man, full court press. Foul shots, 2-2-1. Take it out on the side, 1-3-1. Okay? And then, if we shot and missed, back at the top of the circle. Now, if you remember that team, it was 11 players, because that's all you had that year in the NBA. They made $800,000 total. There were guys in the league making over 800 individually. And they were 41-41 in the second round of the playoffs the very first year, with 8 new guys. 10 guys playing every quarter. Some guys playing 32 minutes, other guys playing 16. Developing the talent on the second unit, having faith in them to get in there and play hard for 8 minutes in the check. See, too many of us don't want to play subs. And you always say, well, he can't play. Well, how do you know? He never plays. I'm a big advocate of playing young people to develop the talent because of the enthusiasm and the energies. All right, now, that was our thinking. Now, we did that for 5 straight years, 77, 78, 79, 80, and 81. When I came to New York, because our team was so big, the first unit, it was a slow team. Bernard King, Bill Carter, Chuck Robinson. We had Paul Westfall with a thigh injury in the back court, the second guard spot, and a little kid by the name of Sherrod on the point, until we got Sparrow on the trade. It was a slow unit, so we never pressed with that team. But we pressed with the second team. And they were a bitch in 83 and 84. Marvin Webster, Ernie Grunfeld, Louis Orr, and in the back court, with that group, we had, I can't remember now, who? Tucker was one, and then when we got Sparrow, Sherrod was with the second one. All right, now why do I say that? Because you see, you know what they were saying in New York? I'll never forget that fucking guy from the New York Times. This is the worst second unit in the history of the New York City franchise. I'll never forget him writing the whole column about it. Here in November and December. And the second half of the year, when we have the second best record in the league next to Philadelphia, he's writing that we have the best second unit in the NBA. And we had Ernie Grunfeld. Ernie Grunfeld couldn't guard your chair that you sit in. Louis Orr. Louis. 6'9", about 185 pounds. Playing big forward, except for one thing. We had an eraser. Playing the back of the track. We had a great shot blocker, Marvin Webster. And then we had 2 guards who were quick and can fun. So you say, well, what was the key? The key was never to steal the ball. The key was always position of the floor and force the jump shot, which I'm going to get into now. Okay? All right, now. So that's why I would play combinations. Hide and deep. Okay, now. I told you that on the guy out of bounds, I covered that you can only take away 2 out of 3 passing angles. So at the end of the game, when we defense you out of bounds, how do we play you? We always play you on this side so that you cannot make that pass and you cannot make that pass. Okay? We are taking away those 2 passes.
So our defenses are set up that you might beat us to this spot, but we will take away those two baskets. So we play you to the baseline side. Okay. Now this is important. All right, now, next thing. This is food for thought. This is the second thing. All right, now the third thing. When you challenge a jump shooter, will you release that man? Because we said that you need easy baskets to beat a good team. When two good teams play one another, the team that gets the most easy baskets wins. Now we said that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. So would you challenge a jump shot and allow that guy to go versus blocking him out? Now what's the theory? If you challenge hard and go, he more than likely will go with you. It's interesting how they don't then crash the board. It's interesting. So theory being, get the one guy out there, you might get an easy long pass. B, even if you don't and he comes with you, it's 4 against 4. You've eliminated the rebound. So am I telling you what to do? No, that's up to you. Now, do we do that? No. But do other teams do that? And yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it. That's what they're thinking. Okay. And it's a good way to get a quick long pass and away. All right, next thing. Please have, I told you, goals per quarter. When you're trying to put in good defense, all right, I told you our goal was 25 points. Because they got to keep hearing that number, whatever that number is. All of your stuff, you want to hold teams under 50, well then you know that you only can give up X amount of points per quarter. So you want to hold them on that. And then they get sold on that damn thing. Because you want defense, and you have the kind of quickness to get it done. So they start taking pride in holding you per quarter. Now for this thing. Always, and I mean always, press a pressing team. Always. Not sometimes, always. Because they understand the psychology of the press, and you give me a great pressing team that you have seen in the last 25 years who had a good zone press offense. It's the damnedest thing, I'm telling you. You give that one a lot of thought. You know what you can't do? You can't give me 5. High school, college, it's the damnedest thing. Why? Because they understand the psychology of the press. They are a pressing team and you play in peaks and valleys. The press doesn't work for the first quarter, second quarter. All of a sudden, bam! In 3 minutes, you get 3 or 4 turnovers, boom, that's the difference, 8 points. And all of a sudden, they understand it. So when they have to go against it, their people, it's the damnedest thing, throw the ball away. When I said this at Duke, when we went into the press at Duke, everybody was laughing at us except for one thing. We would get you to turn the ball. We were so big. We had Randy Denton at 6'10", Larry Saunders at 6'10", Rick Callahan at 6'7", and they were all slow. What was the theory? Don't steal the ball. On all the rotations, you rotate for position of the floor. Force the corner jump shots. Damnedest thing. No layups. Now that's a different type of a theory than in Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's up here, baby. They're going for those steals. They're going to try to, but they'll give you layups. Well, if you're slow, you can't play that way because they'll get too many layups. But when you play position of the floor, which we did in New York, we could play the slow guys. Because now they're playing with their heads. Ernie Grunfeld and Louis Orr are two of the greatest second-line players I've ever coached in my life for playing passing lanes. Those two damn guys, and I've always said this, they would make great assistant coaches. Louis is the assistant to Pete Gillen now out there at Xavier, and Ernie, as you know, was an assistant in New York. But both of those guys I used to have sit right next to the coaches all the time, because both guys really understand the game. And that's how they play the passing lane. Who are two of the greatest passing lane defenders in the history of the game, but cannot play their man one-on-one? Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Right at the top. You ask any NBA guy. At the top! Larry Bird never played anybody. He's just fucking walking around the lane. Everybody's in the zone. If you ask Larry, what are you doing? He's just fucking walking around. I mean, his man could be anywhere. I mean, there were no zone rules for Larry. I mean, he's just walking around next to the hoop. He's got it. He's damn the same. Same thing with Magic Johnson. That's why I really laugh when everybody said, geez, out there at the Olympic trials, Bobby Hurley went past Magic Johnson. Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. What, was that a revelation or what? Who always played the opposing team's point guard? The other guy, Scott. Magic played the two guard. If the guy was quick off the dribble, where did Magic go? Up front, who went in the back court? Word. Go back and check all the films. Because who was their best rebounder? Magic. So in all those great times when they would play Philadelphia, Worthy would play Tony, Cheeks would play, Scott would play Cheeks, and Magic would be up front playing your small forward, Dr. J. or Weber, and at the end of the series, who would be the leading rebounder? Magic Johnson. So that's why I thought it was kind of hysterical that everybody was saying, ooh, wow, the hell. We all know you go by Magic. The only trouble is he's trying to make a pass in the lane. He had 6'9" arms, and his IQ was incredible. It's his hand on everything. Same thing with Bird.